what do you teach when people enroll into your course?
Well, I guess there's three main areas that I teach. So one, it starts with, and I've got this model, visibility, authority, and influence. Now, I can't teach you influence to be influential. You need to have influence to be influential, if you know what I mean.
Yep. And have blue hair.
Well, no, you don't necessarily have to have blue hair, but
Sorry,
you know.
my very dry sense of humor.
So there's three things, but you can't have authority. To get to influence, you need authority in the area you're in. And to have authority, you have to be visible. So it starts with visibility. So I teach people to set up their personal brand or their company brand well. So I work with individuals and companies. So, you know, either way, even if I work with companies, I do in-house training for companies. But it's about leveraging the talent in the team and helping them become thought leaders almost, if that's where they're going. And how to connect, because if your team have other people with the client and the client relationships, then you want to extend that online so people, you're top of mind. So I teach people how to set up their profiles correctly, how to optimize it so you're more likely to be found for the right things, to look professional, that sort of stuff. Then the second piece of authority is to have some sort of authority. You need to obviously know something or be a category authority. So whatever it is, start writing about that, start creating videos about it. Then looking at your content strategy, how can you repurpose? So one thing I love, content's something I really love. So I'll map out, if you're comfortable like this, you're comfortable talking on video, start there, repurpose it into content. So maybe repurpose it into a blog, embed the video, maybe strip the audio, you've got some other things, you can create infographics, all these things that come from that one piece of content, so you're making the most mileage from it. So that's content. Well, of course, if you don't like doing video, because a lot of people find this quite intimidating, including me a few years ago. So I didn't enjoy this at all. But I love writing. So I'd start with writing, and that would be the way that the content would go. And then you've got tools that take your content and turn it into video. Like Lumen 5 is a tool that I use. So if you're not this person, not wanting to speak to camera, then find something that will work for you. So I like to work with different tools that support LinkedIn.
To wrap up with two questions. The first one is on the very provocative book title that you have just launched, and the second one, we'll get to that. But let's talk about your book. The title is
Get Good or Get Off.
That's very Australian, very very Western Australian.
Oh, well, it's actually, I'd say Australian because my co-author is from Melbourne. Right. And we met each other at a conference. She was
Get Good or Get Off.
Yes.
Yes.
So we were brainstorming.
Very blunt. When I look at it, I go, yes.
Yes. We love it because it is very. I think I've been watching a lot of Gary Vee stuff. Do you know Gary? Yeah. And you know how he's very blunt. And I think that back of my mind, it was that whole. We were just having breakfast, and I said, "That's the name of my book." So we got the book name before we wrote the book. And then we got together and actually we audio recorded the book. We spent the weekend planning it out, recorded it, got it transcribed, and then editing and that.
Wow.
But the idea is, it's not about. I know it sounds really blunt. It's not get off because you shouldn't be on here. It's actually about social media strategy. It's about making strategic decisions to get off, because I don't believe anybody should not be on LinkedIn. So this doesn't apply for that so much. But Twitter, for instance, people often go to a workshop and they hear that Twitter's the latest, or Snapchat or whatever the latest thing is. And then people think they've got this pressure to do well on Twitter and it's not working for them. But what they forgot is they don't know how to use it, they don't enjoy it, and their clients aren't there. So what are they doing? So that's kind of the, I suppose, the thing behind the book. It's having a strategy, because without a strategy, you're just making this big job for yourself, and you're doing social media, what we call RASM, random acts of social media.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing here is, pick a platform that you're comfortable with and be really good at it and focus.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Nas Daily, the 1 minute video.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the case study of him is he doesn't do any other platform but Facebook.
Yeah.
That's my excuse of not going to Instagram or LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But what is your advice? It sounds like through the book you're telling me that, hey, if you can't be good, get off. So should I have a multi-platform strategy, or should I be good at one?
No, it sounds, like I said, it sounds quite quite out there saying get off. But get
Yeah.
off doesn't mean necessarily get off completely. So there are different ways of getting off, which we go through in the book. But like parking it for now, because you don't have the bandwidth or the focus to do every platform well. Because you can't launch 5 platforms and expect them all to
Yes.
go really well and put your efforts to it. But it might be for you, say Twitter's where you'd like to be down the track, but you might have everything automated. Yeah, so you might choose one and automate the other platforms for now. But it comes down to payoff. So so I always say to people, pick one, do it well. And for me, the reason going back to why I focus on LinkedIn, I think everybody should be on LinkedIn, but it's how you use it that's going to change. So you need to have an optimized profile because people will find you in Google. Whether you're using LinkedIn, whether they're using LinkedIn, people use Google or whichever other search engine is like Bing or whatever. Bing definitely ranks because Bing, Microsoft own
right.
LinkedIn. So do LinkedIn well, but you may not use LinkedIn actively because that might not be where your market are. So you might, if you're selling fashion products, bathers, Instagram is going to be where it's all at. Don't look at my Instagram. Yeah, you can look at my Instagram, but I don't really have a strong strategy with Instagram. It's just my fun place.
So
to
what
share,
I'm hearing is understand your clients,
Yes.
where they hang out, go there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And just take care of the other platforms. Make sure they're optimized so you found, but you may not be using them.